Imagine the neon glow of a Las Vegas stage, the screaming fans, the endless cameras. Now picture something completely different. A quiet orchard in Utah, covered in sunlight and lined with fruit trees. That contrast tells you everything you need to know about the Osmond family in 2026. While the world still remembers the fame, the real story is happening far away from the spotlight. And the biggest mystery of all? Donny and Debbie Osmond's 5 sons chose privacy over celebrity. But why would the children of one of the most famous entertainers in America walk away from fame when it was practically handed to them? Before you understand the sons, you have to understand the orchard. Donny Osmond does not keep his family history inside a scrapbook or a photo album. He plants it. Every time a new grandchild is born, he adds another fruit tree to the orchard behind his Utah home. It is his own living family tree. And by 2026, that orchard had grown to 16 trees. 16 grandchildren. 16 roots planted into the ground. It sounds peaceful, but it also reveals something much deeper about the Osmond family. They built their life around protecting the next generation from the chaos of fame. But here is the surprising part. That quiet orchard may actually be the secret behind why the family has survived for so long without falling apart. For decades, fans only saw Donny under bright stage lights. They saw the performer, the polished smile, the Vegas residency. But behind the scenes, Donny and Debbie spent nearly 50 years building a completely different world for their children. A world where family mattered more than headlines. And now, after the passing of family elders like Wayne and Alan, the responsibility of carrying the Osmond legacy has shifted directly onto the 5 sons. Suddenly, they are not just Donny Osmond's kids anymore. They are the new guardians of the family name. That sounds glamorous at first. But imagine the pressure. How do you protect a 60-year legacy while also trying to live a normal life? That balancing act shaped every one of the brothers differently. The oldest son, Donny Clark Osmond Jr., made a choice early in life that surprised almost everyone. Instead of becoming another singer, he became the strategist behind the curtain. Born in 1979, Don Jr. understood something important about fame. The people behind the scenes often hold more power than the people standing on stage. So rather than chasing applause, he built a career in marketing and branding through a company called Ouncecom. His work focuses on protecting and guiding the Osmond image in a modern digital world. He became the architect instead of the performer. And honestly, that may take even more skill. After all, what matters more, being the star everyone sees, or being the person who quietly keeps the entire machine running? Then there is Jeremy, born in 1981. If Don Jr. represents strategy, Jeremy represents something else entirely. Escape. But not in the rebellious Hollywood way people expect. Jeremy did not rebel through scandals or headlines. He rebelled by choosing a normal life. He became a physical therapist. No concerts. No red carpets. No reality shows. Instead, he earned a doctorate and dedicated his career to helping injured people recover. It is such a dramatic contrast to the entertainment industry that it almost feels unreal. But in 2026, Jeremy's story became even more meaningful as he watched his own son Dylan complete a mission in Uruguay. That moment showed something powerful about the family. The third generation of Osmonds is leaning towards service instead of celebrity. And that raises a strange question. Which legacy lasts longer, entertaining millions for a few hours, or helping one person walk again? The more you look at the Osmond sons, the clearer the pattern becomes. None of them ran toward fame. They all moved slightly away from it. Not because they lacked talent, but because they understood the cost that came with it. And that becomes even more obvious with the middle brothers. Brandon Osmond, born in 1985, found his own way to stay creative without turning his life into a public performance. He works in advertising and design in Provo, Utah. He still loves music. He still plays guitar. But his audience is not a stadium full of strangers. It is his family. His 4 sons hear the private concerts the public never will. And honestly, that choice says a lot. Imagine having the talent to perform professionally, but deciding your greatest audience is sitting in your own living room. Then comes Chris Osmond, probably the most publicly visible of the brothers in 2026. Fans may recognize him from the reality show claim to fame, where he briefly stepped into the spotlight while still keeping most of his life private. Even then, he played it carefully. He did not rely on the Osmond name right away. He let people guess. But the really interesting part of Chris's story happens behind the scenes. He has quietly worked on music and post-production projects connected to Disney. Think about that for a second. Imagine contributing to major Disney productions while barely anyone realizes your father is Donny Osmond. That level of privacy in today's world almost feels impossible. But Chris managed it. And after welcoming his daughter River James in 2025, his focus shifted even more toward family life. It makes you wonder what success really means. Is it being famous everywhere you go? Or building a life so stable that you can actually enjoy it? And then there is the youngest brother, Joshua Osmond. Born in 1998, Josh grew up differently than the older boys. By the time he came along, the wild frenzy of Osmond mania had already faded into history. He inherited the legacy without experiencing the chaos firsthand. That gave him a unique perspective. In many ways, he became the emotional anchor of the next generation. Fans saw that clearly during his simple backyard wedding to Summer Felsted in 2020. No massive celebrity event. No magazine deals. Just family, simplicity, and privacy. Then, in 2025, Josh and Summer welcomed their son Carson Dean, officially adding the 16th tree to Donny's orchard. And somehow that tiny detail says everything about the family's philosophy. Fame fades. Roots stay. What makes the Osmond story fascinating is not just that the son stayed private. It is how intentional that decision was. Donny and Debbie learned painful lessons from the non-stop fame of the 1970s. Back during the peak of Osmond mania, Donny could barely walk outside without being mobbed by fans. The lifestyle was exhausting. Constant attention. Constant pressure. So when they raised their sons, they created what they called a life in the shadows. Not hiding out of fear. Hiding out of protection. They kept the boys away from the entertainment business while they were young so they could develop real identities before facing public attention. And that strategy may have changed everything. Most Hollywood dynasties collapse under pressure. The children grow up too fast. Fame becomes toxic. Privacy disappears. But somehow the Osmond sons avoided that pattern entirely. They became marketers, healers, designers, fathers, and community members instead of full-time celebrities. They figured out how to inherit the advantages of a famous name without inheriting the damage that usually comes with it. That may actually be the smartest celebrity parenting strategy anyone has ever seen. And here is the strange part. By stepping away from fame, the brothers may have protected the Osmond legacy better than if they had chased it. Because in 2026, the real strength of the Osmond family is not found in gold records or television appearances. It is found in those 16 trees standing quietly in a Utah orchard. Each one represents a grandchild growing up outside the madness of Hollywood. Each one represents another chance to keep the family grounded. And maybe that is the real secret behind the Osmonds surviving for more than 50 years while so many other celebrity families fell apart. They understood something most people never do. Privacy is not weakness. Sometimes, privacy is power. The world may always remember the neon lights, the music, and the screaming fans. But the Osmond sons seem perfectly happy letting the spotlight fade while they build something far more lasting behind the scenes. And honestly, maybe that is the biggest twist of all. In an era where everyone is desperate to be seen, the Osmond brothers discovered the true luxury is being able to live unseen. Improve accuracy for documents and research. Upgrade to Plus and use the latest thinking model to synthesize documents, research, files, and complex information. Get Plus.